tumeenda kula happy na mzungu wangu anaitwa Stefano Faroni, nimchukue company. Kwa hivyo mimi siko na Stefano. Wewe kama mtaka Stefano mchukue. Enyewe wivu ni wivu. Hasa yule mzungu anachukua picha, akipiga picha wale sana vivango fupi, chakacha nini na nini, ndio nikasikia hasira. Nikaenda nikakuta wanaangalilia stage show. Ndio shikanisha kichwa nikapiganisha. Hasa Stefano kuniambia, Halima, umetokeza wapi? Nilisema huyu mtu asiingie hapa. Fungua, mimi nilifanya nini? Nilifululiza kumwaga petroli na lighter hapo.
Mchukulia ni best yangu wa karibu ambaye unaweza kuongea naye.
Ni yangu kwa kuna marehemu. Anaomba msamaha.
Inasikitisha kwamba alafu aliweza kumuua huyo mwanamke, kwa sababu hata huyo mwanamke alikuwa ni rafiki yake pia.
Nishi mtu mama achiliwa and asao yaliyopita.
Lakini ndio hivyo, ajali ikitokea huwa haina kitu.
Armed with a can of petrol and a cigarette lighter, Halima did what 11 years later she said was the most uncalled for mistake.
Gari vile imepakiwa imeniface. Kwa hivyo nikaenda hapa ndi ya left. Ile gari imepakiwa. Nikaenda nikapita mlango wa kwanza ya pili. Kufungua mimi nilifanya nini? Nilifululiza kumwaga petroli na lighter hapo. Nilifanya kusikia ile petroli ikinishika, ile moto ikija.
In a split second, a friend who had now turned enemy was now on fire. Sheila was blinded by the raging flames consuming her body. The pool in the compound was her only hope.
Nikaona mtu ametoka kwenye gari. Anamkimbilia Stefano. Stefano anaambia hapana, zunguka uende kwa swimming pool.
Panicking, Halima rushed to Sheila's side and tried putting out the fire on her body, but it was too late. Sheila Mumbua Mutua had suffered 70-degree burns to her face and body. She died 2 days later at a local hospital. A love triangle turned ugly. Halima lost her once best friend, turned foe. The incident was even tragic. She lost a man she wanted to keep by all means. Halima was later to appear in court to face murder charges. The first person on the witness stand was Halima's former lover, Stefano Faroni. Faroni told the court that on the fateful night they had left the restaurant for home. He opened the gate and made it for the garage when he came face to face with Halima. Faroni told the court it was at this point when Halima inquired from him if there was any other person in the car. Faroni lied. Halima made it for the car, opened the rear door, doused the occupants with petrol and set her on fire. The man who was testifying against Halima had been her lover for 5 years. From his statement, Stefano Faroni painted Halima as a nagging individual. Sheila's mother told the court she witnessed the last moments of her dying daughter. The daughter told her in her dying declaration that it was Halima who doused her with petrol before setting her on fire. A medical doctor administering what will be Sheila's last medication told the court that with a lot of difficulty, Sheila narrated to them the ordeal she went through in the hands of her killer. That evening, Sheila succumbed to her burn injuries. Halima's son, 5 years old at the time, told case files he received the news of her mother's actions on the fateful day.
Ni mtu ambaye namjua, namchukulia kama sasa ni boyfriend madhangu. Sasa kuna mchukulia ni best yangu wa karibu ambaye unaweza kuongea naye, ambaye maybe pengine tunaweza azanisaidia pia na mawazo, nikimuuliza maybe pengine kuhusu maisha yao vile wanavyoishi ya Europe. Kinaeleza alikuwa ni best yangu. Ni mtu kwa namjua.
The youngster at the time knew Stefano Faroni. He says he spent most of his free time with the older Italian national.
Kwa hata hana tena means ama pengine hana tena sponsored mambo pengine za msaidia. Na hapo mwambie mimi sasa kuna na hii ikawa sasa nikaenda kifungua shule ndo naenda Nairobi na kumtembelea.
After 3 years on trial and having called 21 witnesses, Halima Omar Swaleh was placed on her defense, the judge ruling that the mother of one had a case to answer. In his ruling, Justice William Ouko says there was evidence that Halima Omar Swale doused her best friend with petrol before setting her and her former boyfriend's motor vehicle on fire. Halima told the court she had been called by Stefano Farone to his house, that she had no idea what caused the fire in the garage. But Justice William Ouko ruled that after leaving Stefano Farone with Sheila at the comeback bar following her ejection, Halima left with a heavy heart and began to prepare herself. She assembled and armed herself with the weapons of destruction, petrol, and a cigarette lighter. Halima will later lay in wait for her victims to appear before executing her deadly plan. Halima's freedom was cut short. She was sentenced to hang for the murder of her best friend, Sheila Mutua.
Ini yangu lokuwa kuna marehemu. Na naomba msamaha kwa familia marehemu pia. Na yeyote.
Years on, Halima told case files she regretted her actions. Her intention was not to kill Sheila. Her intention was to burn Stefano Farone's car. This was a man who testified against her, a man whose evidence the court heavily relied on before sending Halima to the gallows.
Nikisema nataka nifungwe miaka 30 nitahesabu. Kuliko kwa bure. Kwa hivyo naomba kama unaweza kuniangazia bila kosa na niambia na mtu.
Mission tu mama achiliwe and asawa yaliyopita.
Little is known about what happened to her other friends. Stefano Farone got married to another woman. He died years later after suffering a terminal illness. Stefano's body was airlifted to his home country in Italy. The house that housed evening parties, the house where love and jealousy met, is now the property of another person. Apart from this house that was once Sheila Mumbua's hair salon, the story of the two women friends turned enemies has always been told.
Inasikitisha kwamba alafu aliweza kumuua huyo mwanamke kwa sababu hata huyo mwanamke alikuwa ni rafiki yake pia yeye alikuwa. Lakini ndio hivyo. Ajali ikitokea huwa haina kitu.
After 16 years in prison, the government had the families cry. Halima Omar Swale was among hundreds of prisoners pardoned by the state. Quietly, Halima Omar left Langata Women Prison back to a town where she was a darling of the local residents. Was justice served for the family of Sheila Mutua, or did fate conspire to grant Halima another chance at life? Prison authorities told case files Halima Omar, who entered the gates of the maximum security prison a defiant young woman, her only personal earthly belongings, destination straight to Malindi town, where she once called home. Halima's story, a love triangle turned ugly, will forever remain aged in the hearts and minds of the residents of Watamu town. A love story turned into a murder story. After 16 years in prison, much has changed back at home in Malindi, much as well for Halima Omar. The mother of one will be starting all over again. Case files, My Italian Man is now a case closed. Dennis Onsarigo for Case Files.